President Obama is making history today by visiting the nation of Cuba, and he's the first American president to do so since 1928.
Senator Amy Klobuchar and Representative Tom Emmer are joining President Obama on the trip. With the ban on American travel to Cuba lifted, more people are considering Cuba as a vacation destination.
So it's kind of fun to really understand and get a peek into a world that we've not been able to look at.
It's been a little over a year since Sandy Anderson visited Cuba.
I was there and I was in Havana looking at the streets thinking, you know, I feel like I'm in Spain, almost in the Mediterranean.
She says it's a trip unlike any other.
I'm not a car buff, but wow, was it cool. I mean, they use these cars and fix them, and that's how they get around.
Sandy owns Riverdale Travel Leaders in Coon Rapids, and she went with a group of agents on a people-to-people visit, which is still the only way Americans can go to Cuba.
Our government allows us to travel, but they want us to experience the culture of Cuba. So in order for us to go, there has to be set itineraries of different cultural events to get to know Cuba people to people.
You can't really think about it like a regular sightseeing tourist vacation.
Nora Bloom at Travel Leaders in Maple Grove says the people-to-people trips are jam-packed, full of arts and culture.
The whole program for U.S. citizens to travel to Cuba is centered around educational opportunities. You can't just go and enjoy tourist activities or laying on the beach.
It's tough to travel alone there. Hotels and restaurants are still in short supply.
You can't use a U.S. credit card there. So you can't use an ATM card there.
Group trips book about 5 months out, costing around $3,000 to $4,000 for a week-long trip.
In the Midwest, you'd have to fly into Miami, spend a night there before getting on a plane that is chartered to go to Cuba.
Soon, travel restrictions are expected to be lifted even more, meaning if you want to experience the old Cuba, you better go now.
Again, I mean, why wouldn't you want to see something that hasn't been seen by U.S. consumers in over 50 years?
Cruise ships are also starting to stop at ports in Cuba. If you do get off the boat, though, expect to also have a full docket of cultural experiences to meet the people-to-people requirement. If you do decide to plan a do-it-yourself experience, know you have to keep a record of your people-to-people activities for 5 years after your trip.